All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Nigeria stories. The price of petrol at retail filling stations is set to rise to at least 1,332 naira per litre nationwide, following a fresh upward review by marketers in response to the latest hike by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. As I speak to you, petrol is already selling at 1,400 and something, closing in on 1,500 per litre in some parts of Nigeria. We do not know how long this war between the US and Iran, Israel, is going to last. So, and you know the impact that increase in petrol has on the economy of this country. Before this war ends, some people will quit their jobs. Before this war ends, some people are going to be sacked. Before it ends, some more businesses are going to collapse. This is just the effect of something that is happening outside Nigeria, because we are a country that is not prepared for any eventuality. We are not prepared for anything at all. If drought comes, it takes us unaware. If flooding comes, it takes us unaware. Insecurity comes unaware. There is nothing that does not take Nigeria unaware. This shows clearly that we do not have a working system. Because what does governance mean? It means yesterday, today, and tomorrow. But in Nigeria, it is only yesterday that we have. And the yesterday we are talking about is the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. But before, things were even looking a bit okay. But ever since the APC came in 2015, this country has been going down the drain. And only God knows the extent we are going to hit if we don't rise to get these people out. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming out of the Nigerian Senate, and there is a very important reason why I have chosen this update for this video. And next is that big one coming out of the All Progressive Congress. The APC is splitting into factions from one state to another. The massive defections of greedy politicians into the APC is now too much for the party to handle, and as a result, the party is massively imploding. But will the opposition be able to capitalize on this? Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. Look at what this old man, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, said. This man actually said the reception that Tinubu received in the UK and the state dinner and the entire glamour of the visit is far more important than the lives of the average Nigerian. Watch this video.
This will be the second one. There is a symbolism to that. Number two, this will be the first Nigerian head of state in 37 years, I believe, to be invited on a state visit. You must read a meaning into that. And I really believe that what we should be talking about is the significance, rather than trying to link pain about whether the visit should have gone on or not. When you see the show that was put on, do you think that could have been amended at the last minute because of what happened in Maiduguri? Please don't misunderstand me. What happened in Maiduguri was a disaster for Nigerian image. And if for all of us, it is something we should be weeping about. But you don't change a state visit at the last second because of something that happened. Maybe that's part of our culture. We change things and then, the other side is waiting. You don't do that to Britain. And by the way, you don't do that to the United States. So you keep all those people waiting because you have stopped because of something that happened in your country. Things happen, disasters happen, but state events go on. And so I, as a Nigerian, I thank King Charles III for putting on that show and not taking anything from it. The state dinner again was magnificently put on. Again, I hope the protocol in Nigeria was watching how they came in. Nobody was rushing around. No.
Wow, what a thing to say. Now, when this man said that Tinubu was right not to have cancelled his trip to the UK, even when he heard that there was a disaster in Borno State, that there was multiple bomb explosion in Borno State, I thought he was going to say some things about that trip that you and I have not heard about yet. I thought he was going to pull out some very important aspects of that trip that will benefit the larger population. You know, if you are saying that there is something in that trip that will benefit over 100 and 200 million Nigerians, therefore, you cannot cancel the trip because about 200 Nigerians have been hit by explosion, then you will tell me that you are coming from a logical angle. But when you begin talking about, look at the reception that he received. He said, look at the reception that he received. Look at how he was welcomed. Look at the state dinner. It was magnificent. So those are the reasons that Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, an 84-year-old man, finds worthy that the trip should continue instead of cancelling because Nigerians died. He said, you don't keep Britain waiting. You don't keep America waiting. So you think that if the federal government of Nigeria tells Britain that no, we are going to take another 24 hours to mourn the death of our people because of an explosion in Maiduguri, do you think they will not respect the Nigerian government more? You think they don't have value for lives there? But the fact that you just snubbed that occurrence and quickly flew to go and meet them shows that you have no value for life. And then they will disrespect you more. And what did Tinubu bring from that trip? A deal for them to deport their criminals to Nigeria. A deal for them to do what again? To take 236 million pounds out of a loan of 746 million that Nigeria took. Maybe we're even compelled to take the loan because the whole thing happened there. A deal to fund the takeover of the UK. A deal to fund the UK's takeover of the British Steel Company that is owned by the Chinese. Those are some of the things that Tinubu came with from the UK visit. And you are saying it was good that he didn't cancel the trip because Nigerians died? Wow. And this is an 84-year-old man. So when we say tribalism, this is what we mean. There is no other reason that this man would support Tinubu's decision if not tribalism. So this is exactly what I mean. And ordinary Nigerians, this is how these people see you. This is how they see you and I. It is not more than this. And this is why I tell you that we must put our foot down and get the APC out of power. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming out of the Senate. And next is that big one. Those updates that show the implosion of the APC from one state to another. Can the opposition capitalize on this? It is left to be seen. Let's start by taking that update from the Nigerian Senate. Look at how the papers reported it. Now, before I share this update with you, I'm going to do something that I've never done here before. I'm bringing in a comment that I took from the last video that I posted. This guy, Parents and Kids TV, posted this. He said, so you believe that Obi will solve Nigeria's problems? That was the question he asked me on my last video. And that is why I am bringing this update. Let's take this update now. Nigeria stories. Breaking. Serap has called on Senate President Godswill Akpabio to compel the Public Accounts Committee to publish the names and positions of all officials implicated in the alleged 210 trillion missing or unaccounted for from NNPCL. 210 trillion naira missing, unaccounted for from the NNPCL. Now, let me tell you the impact of 210 trillion naira, the meaning of 210 trillion naira, so that when you say, do I believe that Peter Obi can solve Nigeria's problems, I will let you know that Nigeria's problems are not rocket science. It is a lack of integrity that has allowed those problems to linger. Now, look at this. 210 trillion naira is missing in this country. If you had someone like Peter Obi who has integrity on the seat, this kind of thing can never happen. Let me show you the value of 210 trillion naira. I googled how much was Nigeria's budget all through the 8 years of Buhari in office. All through Buhari's 8 years, what was our budget? Look at it. During the 8-year administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, 2015 to 2023, the total approved federal appropriation budget amounted to approximately 94.88 trillion. In Buhari's 8 years, the entire nation had 94.88 trillion as budget, the entire Nigeria. Now, few persons have stolen 210 trillion. What does that tell you? Few persons have stolen 210 trillion. The entire country spent 94 trillion for 8 years. So when you have somebody who has integrity and this 2 trillion is not stolen, then we can invest in agriculture, we can invest in health, we can invest in education. All these things that they are telling you is impossible, we can invest in power. All these problems, national grid collapsing every day, this 210 trillion naira can fix all those problems and we will still have change. We can pay subsidy. By the time we take out the corruption in the subsidy regime, we can pay subsidy comfortably and Nigerians will be buying petrol 100 naira per liter. Then we will still have enough money to go and start fixing our refineries so that when we are done, we will not need to pay subsidies anymore because we will no longer be importing petrol. This is what we could have achieved, and this is what we can achieve when we have the right person in power. So when they tell you that Nigeria's problems are too difficult, they cannot be solved, it is a lie. It is their corruption that is keeping us grounded. If we have people with integrity, our problems are easy to solve. Point blank, period. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update from the implosion of the APC began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported them. One after the other, we are going to take them. Now, almost every state in this country right now, APC is having issues. But for this video, I'm sampling just 4 states: KEBBI, KANO, Bayelsa, and Benue. I'll take the headlines from KEBBI and KANO, then part of the text from Bayelsa and Benue. APC split into factions in KEBBI. This is the situation in KEBBI state. Look at what is happening in KANO state. KANO APC factional crisis deepens as Barao and Ganduje camps clash. They have broken into camps and everybody wants to be the chairman. Everybody wants to lead the party because they all came in with greed. Now look at this one that is happening in Bayelsa State. Daily Post Nigeria. Ex-deputy Guba candidate Joshua Magva raises concerns over implosion in Bayelsa APC. The All Progressive Congress APC deputy governorship candidate in 2023 general elections in Bayelsa State, Great Joshua Makalva, has expressed concerns over implosion in the state chapter of the party. The Bayelsa APC chieftain warned that the party may lose key stakeholders after the state's National Assembly and gubernatorial primaries if nothing is done to address prevailing injustice in the way the party is being run. Magva raises the alarm in a statement he released on Saturday titled Bayelsa APC Congress Going Forward, a call to look inwards. He urged APC leaders in the state to look inwards and take note of certain factors which may hinder or cut short the party's victory in 2027 elections. Now look at what is happening in Benue State. Benue, Akume cannot decide my fate in 2027. Governor Haisant Alia has asserted that the secretary to the government of the Federation, George Akume, has no authority to decide his political future or that of Benue residents ahead of the 2027 governorship election. Alia emphasized that his chances of a second term would rest solely on his track record, credibility, and past performance, expressing confidence that the electorate will judge him accordingly. Those who betrayed the people that voted them into power, those who failed woefully to deliver in their mandate, those who prefer to worship emperors than fulfill their covenant with the people will face judgment from the people. No emperor can decide any election for the people. Alia is diligently and meticulously keeping his covenants with the people, and the people are there, much aware of developments around them, to pass their verdicts. Alia spokesman stated. Wow, this is the condition in the APC. I just brought you reports from KEBBI, from KANO, from Benue, and Bayelsa states. All of them have broken into factions. And in some states, it's even worse than two, because amongst the old APC members, we have two factions. Then the new decampees, new people that came in, they too are looking for opportunity for results to be written for them, because they are looking at the situation whereby there will be no election in 2027. They will just write results for them. And I am telling you, these are not wars that can be settled, because it is two people looking for one seat. There's no way to settle it. The moment you give it to one party, the second party scatters everything. That is it. And after their national convention, that is when you now see more people decamping from the party, hating the party, coming out to call out the party after that national convention, because everybody that is there now believes that once you just pander to Tinubu, just go and meet him and tell him he is the best, he is the greatest, he is this and that, just worship him, then you can meet him directly and he'll give you anything you want. So nobody wants to go through any governor. The governor too is worshiping Tinubu to see how he can get his own favors from him. And that is why there is an implosion everywhere. You see, when you have a party that is put together out of greed, this is what you will have. Now, it is left to be seen if the opposition can capitalize on this. Because I talk about the major thing not being how to get the popular votes. The major thing is how to ensure that the APC does not do the same thing that they did in 2023. Rig election, change results at polling unit level, go to collation center and change results, steal ballot box and do all that. How do they do these things? It is these people at the grassroots that they use. They use these people that are angry now. These people that are quarreling now over who should control the party. Those are the people that the APC uses at the grassroots to do all their dirty jobs. Many of these people are going to be angry with the party by the time it becomes clear that they will not have their way. By the time it becomes clear that their own preferred candidates will not be the ones that Tinubu will choose. Because Tinubu is practically the one handpicking everybody for all the positions. So by the time he doesn't pick their candidates, they will be angry and they will want out of the party. Or better still, you leave them within the party to work against the party. The same way that Wike did with the PDP. But will the opposition be able to capitalize on this to ensure that the rigging mechanism of the APC is completely broken down so that they can be defeated in 2027 for Nigerians to be free from this quagmire? It is left to be seen. Anyway, make I leave am here. I'll see you in my next video, and it promises to be informative. Don't go away.